Hello guys, welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. There is a message that I want to share with you guys, and the following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and the translation reads like this. Hello brother Nashi, how are you? I am a man from Zimbabwe. I recently migrated to Europe. This was after my wife's family had made a plan for me to migrate from Zimbabwe, going to join my wife in Europe. Most of her relatives, they are in Canada, but as for now, we are living in the United Kingdom. But there are a lot of things that are happening to me that I do not even understand. There are many days that I question myself if I am still a man or not. Let me start where the story begins. I was working in Cape Town. When I was working in Cape Town at a certain restaurant, that is when I met my wife. By the time that I met my wife in Cape Town, she had just came to visit for her vacation. That is when we spoke, and after we had exchanged numbers, when she had returned back to the United Kingdom, we started talking, and we used to talk a lot. That is when I proposed love to her. When I proposed love to her, I never thought that she was going to fall in love with me, because I was just a regular guy who was working at a restaurant. But when I told her that the day that I had met her, when she had visited our restaurant, I had immediately fallen in love with her. She told me that she had felt the same about me. But this is the most confusing part. I do not know why she chose to fall in love with me, because from the family that she comes from, they are wealthy, and I do not even know why she had to choose me out of all the men that are out there in the world. I thought that maybe God and the heavens had smiled upon me, but now I am actually even doubting if this was a blessing from God. The first thing that she did, she lied to me that she had never been married before, and she had never had any kids before. Even the first night that we spent together, she was claiming that she was still a virgin, but when I slept with her, I found out that she was not a virgin. She told me that when she was still a young girl, she used to play tennis, and she says that when you are a tennis player, chances are very high that the first time that you will sleep with a man, there will be no bleeding at all. But all of this, it was just a lie. I am still keeping it as a secret from my family. My whole family does not even know that the woman that I got married to, she was already married to this other white guy here in the UK, and it is giving me a lot of sleepless nights, because when I later joined my wife in the United Kingdom, I saw another character to her. It was a totally different character than the character that she had shown me by the time that I was still in Cape Town. When we were still dating, when I was still working in Cape Town, she then told me that I had to go back home in Zim, and she told me that she was going to take care of me. I trusted her, and she kept her promise. She even sent me a bus ticket all the way from Cape Town going to Harare. When I arrived in Harare, I did not know anyone, but one of her cousin sister was already waiting for me at the bus station. Then her cousin sister picked me up from the bus station. She then went with me to my wife's uncle's house, and that is when I saw that I had gotten myself involved with people who are quite wealthy. The house was really beautiful, but I was hurt because when I spoke with my wife's uncle, he then told me that he didn't trust me enough, and he didn't want me to go and join my wife in the United Kingdom yet. He wanted me to work for him until a certain period of time when he will be able to trust me. So from working as a waiter in a restaurant, when I arrived back home in Zim, I started working as a gardener. But because I loved my wife so much, it was not about the money. Yes, I knew that this was going to become my golden ticket. So when I arrived at her uncle's place, seeing how wealthy the uncle was, I knew that God had finally smiled upon me. But my brothers out there, if you are a poor man, don't even try to date into a family where they are more wealthier than you, because now she treats me as if I am just a toy. In this marriage that I am in, I don't have any voice. If I try to speak with her relatives, they will just shut me down, because the kind of a character that my wife has, whenever she comes back home late, and if I ask her why her phone was off, why wasn't she picking up her call, and why didn't she even tell me where she will be going to after she had knocked off from work, she'll start to become violent towards me, and she'll be calling me a lot of names. She even threatens to send me back to Africa. So I had had enough with all of these threats. I then decided to give her uncle a call so that maybe he can try to resolve this issue, because as for now, I have been in the United Kingdom for only 7 months. But each and every day that I am here in the United Kingdom, I am regretting. The only reason why I am hanging on, it is because I am the only breadwinner in my family. But as for now, my wife is the one who is providing for my parents. She is even taking care of my little sister, who is now in boarding school. That is the only reason why I am still hanging on. The kind of a visa that I am having right now, it does not permit me to work yet. So when I called my wife's uncle, I thought that he was going to understand my situation, because I need to control my wife. But when I started telling him about control, he laughed at me, brother. I felt so humiliated because he started laughing. And from the way that he was laughing, I felt that he was actually clapping his hands. And he then asked me a question. He said, "What control do you need when you do not have any money?" A man who is only allowed to control his wife is that kind of a man who can take care of his wife. Can you take care of your wife? I just felt stuck. I could not answer him. And then he sent me a message and he said, "If you are ever going to get in any kind of a fight with your wife, I am going to get that stupid visa of yours revoked. Now that you are in Europe, you think that you are a big man. I will reduce you to nothing. I'll make sure that they will deport you back here. And when they deport you, I'll make sure that you will never set your foot again in Europe." I am really scared, my brother, but I am trying to hang on, because my wife, what she does is that she pretends as if she is really a good woman. Whenever me and her have a big fight, she will call my mom. Sometimes she will be crying over the phone. Then my mom will start to insult me. The reason why my mom insults me, it is because all of my relatives, they know that this is the only opportunity that we ever got in this life for us to have a better life. So my family doesn't even care about my well-being. All that they want is to rise up from the ashes of poverty. Dear brother, the reason why I have come to you, I am looking for advice. As a poor man, what do I do? Should I just continue holding on until all of my papers are sorted out here in the United Kingdom? And it's not like a walk in the park. It is going to take me around about 15 years before I can get divorced to my wife, because as of now, if I try to get divorced to my wife, then my visa will be revoked and I'll be back to stage 1. All of my relatives, they are looking up to me, and I am keeping this whole distressing situation as a secret from my parents. When I got married to my wife on our wedding day, what surprised me is that there was no marriage certificate. We just pretended as if we were signing off a marriage certificate for the camera and for the people to see. But when I saw that there was no marriage certificate at all, the marriage certificate that we pretended to sign, it had already been signed. It belonged to another couple. I then asked my wife, who then referred me to her uncle. I then went and I confirmed with my wife's uncle. Then he said that because we organized this wedding in a rush, it was not his problem. We were going to sort out the whole mess that we had done. He was actually blaming me. And as someone who didn't have any money, because when I was working for her uncle, I was not getting any salary at all because I stopped working in South Africa. This was in 2021. Then I went and I started to work for my wife's uncle. And for the whole year, when I was working for my wife's uncle, I was not getting any salary at all. Yes, here and there, my wife was just sending me some money, but it was not enough. It was just to take care of me, to buy a few clothes. When her uncle gave me the dates for the wedding, it was about 2 months in advance, and I didn't have anywhere where I was going to get that money. Then my wife told me to ask for that money from my uncle, since she was the one who had given me the money that I used when I had gone to pay for her bride price. My brother, it was really painful to lie to my parents because they didn't know that the money that I had gone to show them, telling them that this is the money that I wanted to use to pay for my wife's bride price, she had gave me all of that money. Those are the kind of insults that I am getting right now from my wife. Whenever I try to control her, she will also laugh at me and she will say, why do you want to control me? If you want to control me, give me first all of the money that I gave you at that time when you were dead broke and when you were so desperate to go and pay for my bride price. And as for now, I do not even have any plan. I don't know where can I get that kind of a money. She gave me all of the money for the transport and for everything. I then went with my closet relatives. Then we went to pay for her bride price using her money. So after paying for her bride price, that is when her uncle gave me the wedding dates. So in 2 months' time, we had to secure the venue, get the wedding rings and everything. And there was no way I could get that kind of a money. And when I asked my fiance at that time for financial assistance, she told me that she didn't have any money. So I had to go and get a loan from her uncle. Her uncle is the one who footed the bill for the wedding. When I entered into this marriage, I brought nothing to the table. And these are the kind of insults that I keep on getting from my wife. The last time that we had a big fight, she told me that the only thing that you brought into this marriage is your manhood. So never think for a second that this manhood of yours that you brought into this marriage is really special. And this is the truth. When I walked into this marriage, I provided nothing for my wife. But when we were still dating, she told me that she had enough money, so much that she didn't want to date another man who was wealthy already. She wanted a man whom she was going to rise up from the ashes of poverty. And in me, she had found the perfect candidate because I was such a faithful man to her. But now I keep on asking myself if she really meant everything that she told me about the kids. When I arrived here in the United Kingdom, I then found out that she had not finalized her divorce with her husband, whom she was married to here in the United Kingdom. That is why when we got married in Zim, we didn't sign any marriage certificate. We only pretended as if we were signing off to a marriage certificate for the cameras and for the people who were gathered at our wedding. I then understood why there was no marriage certificate. After she had finalized her divorce with her husband, that is when we started to arrange for our marriage certificate to be done. Yes, now we are legally married, but I feel as if I was cheated on my brother, because as for the kids, when I arrived here in the United Kingdom, I then realized why she was not a virgin when we first slept together, because here in the United Kingdom, she already has 2 kids. And she lied to me about her kids. At first, she told me that these kids were not her kids, but they were her cousin sister's kids. But later on, she was then open with me. She told me that they were her kids, and she was afraid that if she would tell me the truth, then I was going to dump her. But how could I dump her? Because I was already in her arms. But even though I forgave her for all of her mistakes, she insults me, and she tells me that the only reason why I forgave her, it was because I was so desperate to stay in the United Kingdom. Because the first time when I came to the United Kingdom, I came on a visitor's visa. So she says that this was not about love, but this was because I wanted a better life for me and for my parents. But that is far from the truth, because I truly love my wife. Even now, if she wants to change her character, I am still in love with her. But it seems as if I am just a toy. Please give me advice. How can I take control of my marriage? I know that because of cultural change, maybe she does not believe that a man is supposed to control her. But I am the man of the house, even though I am just a poor man, but I should be the head of the house. Please give me advice on what to do. I know that I do not have any choice, but I have to keep on hanging on so that I can provide a better future for my relatives. Dear listeners, right there was a message. It was a desperate message that was sent to me by one of our dear listeners. Please let us speak with him in the comment section. He then sent me a message and he said, I hope that I'll be okay. But these are the things that a man has to do when you are born in a poor family. Please let us talk with him in the comment section. I'll be back with another episode.